You're dialed in to the Here We Go Rapid Review. Let's take a running leap together into the gap fillers and contract terms. Here we go.
Let's move on to another big area here and talk about the terms of the contract. What are the terms of the contract? Remember, the UCC wants deals to happen, so the deals might happen so fast that we're going to have to spend some time later on figuring out what the terms were. That's okay. The UCC wants to see that commerce happen. We can work on the terms on the back end, and that's what we're going to see here. So there's a hierarchy for determining what the content of a contract is. And here it is from highest to lowest. Got first the express terms. If it's expressed, that's first. After that, course of performance, then course of dealing, then usage of trade. Now, this only makes logical sense. You really don't have to memorize this because it really has to be this way. Express terms are what we expressly agreed on. That's got to come first. After that is course of performance. How have we performed in this transaction? If this transaction has taken 2 years to play out, and for the first 18 months you've always been paying for delivery and never charged me for shipping, that says a lot about whether or not shipping is your responsibility. Next is course of dealing. So not this contract, but our other dealings, the same buyer and seller over our history. Have you always been paying for shipping? That's the next place we're going to go. And then finally, usage of trade. All the buyers and all the sellers in this sector. Okay, so it really has to be that way. You don't really have to memorize that. It's got to be express terms, then course of performance of this contract, then course of dealing of all our contracts between buyer and seller, then usage of trade, all the contracts of all the buyers and sellers. Okay, then after all that, then we get the UCC gap fillers. So note that we don't go to the UCC gap fillers unless the other higher rungs on the hierarchy don't tell us the answer. So we're not going to go to the UCC, what's the gap filler for who's responsible for shipping or delivery. We're not going to go to that unless we don't have an answer from the express terms of the contract, course of performance, course of dealing, or usage of trade. And still, this just makes logical sense. The UCC figures that the parties themselves and the trade are going to know better than all the people in the ULC and ALI meeting someplace several decades ago about how you want to do your deal. So the UCC gap fillers have to come last. All right? What's the principle that explains all this? The UCC cares about freedom of contract. The UCC would rather you people, the buyers and the sellers, or at least all the buyers and all the sellers in the trade make up the terms of the contract before they do. They care about freedom of contract. Okay. So when we had our hypothetical deal on the instrument gauges, can you send us 3 more X7000 instrument panels? You bet. Deal. Hang on. All right. That, which the UCC loves, commerce happening, because the UCC wants deals to happen, what are the terms? The gap fillers come in and can fill all those terms for us. All right? So really, if you notice, the two key things that we know from this deal is we know what the good was. It was the X7000 instrument panel. And we know how many there were. There were 3. So quantity and the item are things that we can't really fill the gap for. But other things we can fill the gap for, such as price. Well, we didn't say what the price is. Well, the UCC will fill the gap. The price is a reasonable price. That was really clever. You came up with that all by yourself, a reasonable price. Yeah, reasonable price. Okay, and how will we figure that out? Well, we can look at the seller's catalog, or we can look at the market price, or what have they paid in the past. Delivery. Okay, delivery, the gap filler, is the seller's place of business. You know that from just going around in the world. You buy something, unless you pay for shipping, you're going to have to go pick it up. You kind of already know that. Okay. Time. Oh, here's one they came up with. Time. How fast things have to happen. A reasonable time. Wow, thank you UCC for that. How much do we pay per hour for you to come up with reasonable time? So we've got reasonable price, reasonable time, and delivery at the seller's place of business, and then payment due on tender of delivery. Pretty easy. So those are some of the gap fillers, if you're wondering what those are. And we have the gap fillers because the UCC wants deals to happen. Commerce is my middle name. Let's make those deals happen.